Is we live or is we live? That is the question. Hey, Empress Blue, how you doing? I was always wondering how people end up being late to their own chat. Well, I figured out a way to do it myself. I forgot all about it. I was shopping at Target. My son took me. I was trying to find some sandals. My big feet couldn't find none. Um, so welcome to the chat. If it ain't just me and you, that's what we'll be talking about. And my little assistant, we don't see her behavior is kind of shaky, iffy. Um, but I am gonna talk about it regardless. Uh, whether it's one person or 10 or 100. You know what? If I tell the truth about how I feel like shit right now. Excuse my language. So let me get the disclaimers going first. Um, Granddaughter, dear. I think she getting contrary already. All right, so here go my disclaimers. If you're allergic to critical thinking, and we definitely gonna emphasize that in this chat. Critical thinking, gaining knowledge. Every now and then I'll talk about solar, growing foods and meds, surviving when shit hit the fan, cause y'all know shit has hit the fan. Every store I went into, they didn't have what I came in there for. So the shelves is getting emptier. People are hoarding stuff that you wouldn't expect to be hoarding. So anyway, tiny living every now and then, cuss words. But I'ma lead them out on this one. Okay, I try to. Hey, Slide Jones, and that's the main disclaimer. So if you a hot mess, or you love messiness, this video is not for you. So uh, you could just put that out there. This video ain't for you. You a hot mess, love messiness, as in cyber harassment. This not for you. Hello, Slide Jones. So y'all, y'all been giving. I've been giving away this book. I think. Did you put in a request for the book? Did you ever get your book, Slide? I think I sent you one, didn't I? Hi, Woodrow Sloan. Okay, the book I'm talking about that I sent out to a few of you out there is Raising a Thinking Child. And I will start this chat out by telling my story. I have three children. I we were I was raising my kids in Chicago. We lived on the 7300 block of Paulina, and that is in the middle of the hood called Inglewood. And they considered us high risk. I didn't know why, because see, at that time, my 30-year-old child was 9 years old. And in my mind, I thought high risk would meant like low income. But I was in the middle of my career as a computer specialist, and so I wasn't thinking why I would be categorized as high risk, but we was categorized that way because black women with male children had the highest rate of mortality. That means we was dying off with diabetes and heart disease, dropping like flies. This is in the 80s. Like I said, this is when my 30-year-old was 9-year-old when this was introduced to me. And it was just little games. And I'm telling you, I never thought it would be that much of an impact. It is. The way I was confirmed as to how much of an impact it made is when my adult children later called me to indicate how they noticed that their friends didn't have that ability to critically think, problem solve. When they get to a problem, they would get stuck. I couldn't have predicted that. In fact, when we was playing the games, it was supposed to be geared towards my son, who presented the most behavioral challenges in my little world. We thought it just lost, went over his head. But I've seen him use the skills time and time again to this day. So I feel like it's one of the best gifts you could give. Next to reading, critical thinking is one of the best gifts you could give to your family. Hey, Nurse Fine. Hey, bench thinker. And so, um, so I printed out a few things too to apply to this lesson. Um, and that is to define critical thinking, because we done had, now I know some of y'all, we done encounter firsthand, up close and personal, people who rattle critical thinking off their lips like diarrhea of the mouth, but then don't give you no clue whatsoever of what that is, and yet they criticize. To me, you hypocritical when you can't explain what that is, because the average person gonna be, huh? What? And you're not gonna exactly uh, you'll be defensive. When somebody say, "Well, people ain't critically thinking," I'd rather not call you out and complain. I'd rather educate you. So this is a definition of critical thinking according to Wikipedia. Critical thinking is the analysis of facts to form a judgment. The subject is complex and several different definitions exist, which generally include the rational, skeptical, unbiased analysis or evaluation of factual evidence. Critical thinking is self-directed. That's how you know when it's you're really thinking critically. It's self-directed, self-disciplined, self-monitored, and self-corrective thinking. So you have to be able to be redirected by yourself, disciplined by yourself, and self-monitoring your own self and correcting your own thinking. In this book, these little games, these little brain games in here, help you achieve that goal. Critical thinking presupposes assent to rigorous standards of excellence and mindful command of their use. It entails effective communication and problem solving. Okay, this is in the Wikipedia definition. Communication and problem solving. So that is what this is all about. Problem solving. Communication, problem solving. And And the reason why you can tell the people who boast about it, who you seen boast about these critical thinking, being able to critical think, they both suffering, at least the ones in my life, from these two: egocentrism and sociocentrism. Egocentrism is self-centered, egotist, self-centered. The whole world revolves around you, and you make the whole world coming to you and your particular problem. where people who have critical thinking skills know how to throw that problem back in your life lap and tell you that's a problem that sounds personal and is your problem. You're not going to dump that problem on me. Then the other problem we have is sociocentrism. It's classes of people, as us, we as black people, we experienced that already with white supremacy, people thinking they, superior. So being in a class of people that think they better, or you as an individual think you better, is a problem. It's a problem with communication, and it interferes with being able to critically think. Critical thinking is not just a fancy term, a fancy word. It's you really got to work at it, you know. And so I'm doing this because I need some refresher skills myself. But I know the core of it, and I'm grateful for it because one thing I don't do is ruminate in my problems, stressing out, having all kinds of anxiety, trying to figure out what my problems are because I have had this brain training. So from now on, we're going to be referencing a game called ICPS. And so when you introducing it to the smaller kids, that's how you can say it. Would you like to play a game with me called ICPS? Okay. And ICPS means I can problem solve. But that's a short word and that's easy to teach the kids. 3 to 9 year olds, they remember that, but that's a short abbreviation for a more technical term called intermittent cognitive problem solving, which is more than just you. Intermittent cognitive problem solving is you're making analysis and rationale and discernment on various factors that come to play. Some of the key words that you are going to be learning to tune into that help with critical thinking and thinking about others. One thing these games do, it teaches you about other people. So I'm just going to throw out some word pairs that you're going to become familiar with. And one of the games that I want to play, I'm going to demonstrate it with my granddaughter. And I want you to go out today immediately and teach it to someone else because it's an easy game. Now, if you run into problems, because, I will admit that I started this class, I had this class doing it with other mothers. So things that, you tried and it didn't quite work out, we was able to bounce it off each other and tell them our experiences and, redirect and be able to change the problem. But here are the word pairs. Why? And y'all know I've been saying that a lot. Why? Why? You got to ask yourself why in every situation. That's what we don't do. We have to question everything. There is nobody and no one you should be taking a word for, even me as I'm speaking, what I'm telling you today. Don't just take my word for it. Do your research. I did my research, and what I did, I found out that uh, critical thinking, this is exactly what it is, and that I was right on the money. The official definition for critical thinking does include problem solving. Absolutely. And the more you practice, the better you get at it, and it'll be smooth. And these games are designed so that you could just introduce them in your life just normal. It's not like you got to sit down and play like a Monopoly game or something. Everybody got to sit down and do it. It can happen spontaneously throughout your day. Hold on a second. I got to mute my mic for a second. Okay, we back. Here's my helper. Um, I taught her mom and her dad this one. They were this age. Problem is, oh, thank you, Empress. The problem is, this book is geared towards the primary age, and these games just a little bit, probably a little bit too baby for them. But it's an easy read for you, Mama, as a adult, and you can introduce it in your life. I'm gonna do these videos every Thursday to 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 really bring home each one of these games that's in there. Okay, so one of the games I already started talking to you all about it. It's the Y game. You remember how to play the Y game?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes.
How come you didn't teach nobody else? I want you to teach somebody how to play it, okay?
Okay.
So the Y game, that's the easiest one. And I love it because the little bitty ones can just bounce right into that game and they won't even know they're actually learning something, okay? But why and because that's the first game we end up learning with this program. Why and because. So we're gonna take turns. We're gonna take turns. Your turn could be first. So the object of the game, you have to list all the reasons why you like or dislike some because some of you all could have little oppositional kids. Hey, 6669, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. Um, you might have a little oppositional child, because the game starts off as name something that you like. Well, the oppositional child gonna be sitting up there. I don't like. I don't like. Well, you can play the game with I don't like too. So name something you like.
I like.
Uh-oh, I like air from the fan. When
Just
it's
do that
hot.
one.
Oh, okay.
I like ice cream.
Okay, now she says she like ice cream. Now everybody else, the way we would taught the game, we all be little birdies. So the little 3-year-olds, they don't like that part. And now she just said, I like ice cream, so I'm the little birdie. Why?
Because it's yummy.
Why?
Because there's many flavors.
Why?
Because there's one where it's my special flavor.
Why?
Because it's mint chocolate chip.
Why?
Because it's vanilla.
Why?
Because you can put toppings on it.
Why?
Because you can make yogurt like ice cream.
Why?
Because they do.
That's not an answer because they do.
Because it's just like ice cream.
She said she knew you was gonna say that ice cream. She knew you was gonna say ice cream. Why?
Because everybody loves ice cream.
If that's why you like ice cream, because everybody likes ice cream. I'm asking you.
I like ice cream, but everybody else likes ice cream.
You see, I had to guide her a little bit because they will veer off, and instead of naming another reason why she like ice cream, she's actually introducing another concept and not a reason why she like the ice cream. So keep going. Why?
Because it's frozen.
Why?
Because you can make it at home if you want to.
Why?
Because it's delicious.
Why?
Because
See, I don't think she remembered the game. You can't think of nothing else? So how do we end the game?
I give up.
That's not how we end the game. What's the right way to end the game?
I don't know.
You just said it. You do know why. I don't know.
No.
That's how you
Why?
end the game. You know why that's important? The I don't know. Because sometimes you really don't know why you like something. Okay? Now, like for example, I like that wall covering.
What?
I don't know. I just do. Sometimes it is like that. And so as you play this game around the house and with different family members, it could be all the family members at one time. It could just be one or two of y'all at one time. But it can be injected all throughout the day. So she didn't quite do it right. But when you run out of things to say about reasons why you like or don't like something, then you say, I don't know. And that's the end. Because some kids are shy and they may only be able to think of one thing. Some kids are more popular and more outgoing and they might think of a lot of things. But the game is not to see who can beat who and how many things because that'll make it competitive. It's not a competitive type of game. It's just to get the reasons why. Because it makes it interesting. You get to find out well, she liked it because it's sweet and all other reasons why she liked ice cream. And you just learn something new about her. And that's how the game is supposed to work. So even if one child or one person who participating in this game, and they can only think of one reason why, or maybe they can't even think of any reason why, you can easily get out of your turn by saying, I don't know. So that's how the game ends. So it's my turn. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. I like computers.
Why?
Now she's supposed to say why every time I give her an answer. Because they help me do research.
Why?
Because they help me pay bills.
Why?
Because they help me meet people online. Because they help me be smarter.
Why?
Because they help my brain.
Why?
Because I learn a lot from it.
Why?
Because I don't know.
Hard drives, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, million things for computers.
But I couldn't remember all that. So it's okay. And see if you have a controlling child like this one, I just said, I don't know. That's the end of the game. It's not her job to criticize and tell me how many things I didn't think of. That's not how the game goes. That's not how it goes. So you want to referee that because you're gonna have some kids. They all be a little different, behave a little differently. She's one. So that's not the other person's job to say, well, you could have said that and you could have said that. I didn't think of it. There could have been a lot of things I thought of. Believe me, it's a million of them I could have thought of eventually. But in the context of this game, that's all I could think of. So once a person say, I don't know, that's the end of it. So number one, first you take turns and you all can decide amongst yourself who go first, who go last, who go second, third, fourth, fifth. But everybody should get a turn. And it doesn't matter if you got one outgoing and rambunctious one and one real quiet and shy type. Each person gets a turn. And the turn starts with I don't like or I like. And then everybody else says why. And they keep repeating and saying why until that person runs out of different things that they want to. What was that?
I don't know.
So when they run out of things to say, they say, I don't know. Okay? So that's what I want you guys to do is take that game, that one game, the why game, home with you. Each person take a turn. You explain to them likes or dislikes. You can say, I like so and so. So we're going to do it one more time and see if she can do it completely to the end right. So I'm going to give her another turn. This is just so we can demonstrate it to you guys. So you like or dislike what?
I I I like
Speak up so they can hear you.
I like watching YouTube
Why?
because there's a bunch of content and I get to watch
One thing. Why?
because I watch videos
Why?
because there's really funny stuff on there
Why?
because I do it all day
Why?
because it's fun
Why?
because I watch games
Why?
because I watch fun videos
Why?
because I watch fun videos
Why?
because I watch your videos
Why?
because I love you.
Why? You like YouTube because you love me? That's you gotta remember you asking the question why. Why you like YouTube? Why?
Because I learn stuff on there.
Why?
Because it's educational.
Why?
Because everybody learns stuff on there.
Why?
Because there's games on there.
Why?
Because I like a lot of YouTubers.
Now is that a reason why you like YouTubers? Because you like a lot of YouTubers?
I like YouTube.
Right.
Because
Why?
I like a lot of YouTubers.
Okay. Why?
Because at one time I made my own.
That's why you like YouTube because one time you made your own channel? Why?
Because I learned how to crochet on there.
Why?
Because I learned how to loom on there.
Why?
Because I learned how to do math on there.
Why?
Because I learned how to bake on there.
Why?
Because I learned how to make brownies.
Why?
I learned how to make a bug brownie.
Why?
Because I really like cars. There's car videos.
Why?
Because there's animals.
Why?
Because there's fashion.
Why?
Because teaches you how to like pizza.
Why?
Because there's books on there.
Why?
Because there's documentaries on there.
It's what?
Documentaries.
Because of documentaries? Why?
Because it teaches you how to do your hair.
Why?
Because it teaches you how to do your makeup.
Why?
Because it teaches you how to look for the right makeup.
You said that already.
Look for the right makeup.
You said that makeup already.
Why?
Why?
Because it taught me how to coupon.
Why?
Because I like to watch couponing.
Why?
Because I like to watch Minecraft.
Why?
Because I like to watch TLC.
You like YouTube because you like TLC. You like YouTube because of TLC?
There's TLC, the TV show. They have videos.
Okay. Why? And that's the end of her term. But she did really well. And you know what that is? An exercise. She was exercising her brain because she had to keep coming up with a different one. So you got to steer the kids, especially the little ones, because you know a lot of times the mistake people would make is she said I like YouTube, and she said because a lot of people. And then the next time you say why, and they say the people name is John, and the people that's veering off from why she like YouTube. But she played the game right this time. Good job. And it's a good job for everybody who participates. So even if you got that oppositional child, I don't like you too. You can do it that way too. I don't like YouTube.
I
You're
don't
supposed
like
to,
him too.
you're supposed to be doing wow. It's my turn. You just had a turn.
I you're saying you don't like him.
So it's my turn now. So now I'm gonna see. That's what I'm choosing.
Okay.
So you can have an oppositional child that's going in there. I don't like YouTube
Why?
because it's
Why?
because you have to have 1,000 subbies in order to do live.
Why?
And some reasons why I don't like YouTube because they changed it so much, so you don't know what's how to use it as well anymore.
Why?
Because you can't communicate to your friends like I want to make friends with all these people that's in my chat. No, I can't. I don't know.
Yay! I win.
No, you don't. It's no winners or losers in this game. It's whoever participates.
No.
So
Okay.
you can have competitive kids like that who just automatically thought it was a contest because she said 15 and I only said 3. No, it don't matter. As long as that person exercises their brain to think of something different, we're all winning. Everybody wins. And what you're doing is training the brain to think differently and not get locked in on one thing. That's a mistake that adults, I see it in adults, they get locked in one way of thinking and don't think no other way.
Damn.
She cracking up. Yes, ma'am. So we both had a couple of turns, and what I want y'all to do is play that game with your family.
Can those people do a video on here and show them playing?
Yeah, so yeah, at this point, good idea. What we're gonna do is open up the chat. I'm gonna share the link. So for the last 10 minutes of this first session, which I'm glad the people showed up that did. I'm not mad who didn't because they can catch the replay and it be somebody that stumbled on this video a year from now or 10 years from now and it still be a relevant thing and something good to put in your life. So I'm gonna put the invite up.
Yay.
And invite you guys to join me if you want to. It's not mandatory, but we'd love to have you. No, not the whole thing, but we can do one more round of the Y game just so you can see it. And then I'll rehash, I'll go over a review of it, what we were doing. But the Y game was introduced to me in this program called Raising a Thinking Child. I knew that I wasn't going to be able to do the whole thing in one session, so I'm breaking this whole thing up into a weekly sessions, and I want to try to come here on Thursdays. Now, I made the mistake of saying 7 to 9 and screwed up. I was in Target and not the driver, so I'm on late time. I didn't get back in time for my session, but I'm gonna shoot for it because I want to discipline myself. See, that's what critical thinking is all about. I read the definition from Wikipedia, but basically it's learning how to problem solve. That's the most important skill you could possibly get in this lifetime. And many of people's problems revolve around their inability to problem solve. You got to be able to do it. And then they were saying to us that we were high risk when the program was introduced to me. Her uncle, my son, he was 9 years old. He's 30 years old now. They introduced the program because it was such a high mortality rate in our community. Black women was dying left and right from high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, you name it. And black boys was not living to the age of 25. Not living to the age of 25. And so they in my community they just felt the need to introduce this program because the problem is people react quick to judge, rush to judgment, and react. That's terrible. That's why we lost Tupac. That's why we lost Biggie. People not having the ability to problem solve, to think of more than one way to solve your problem. You react, you judge, you react, you judge. That's the problem. That's what's going on with the riots and stuff. That is us reacting instead of logically thinking. If all those people was incorporating critical thinking instead of reacting and looting and hoarding and looting, they would be coming up with policies and programs and proposals in order to solve the problem. If we don't have critical thinking, that can't be done. So it don't matter if you got 6, 7, 50, 11 degrees. If you can't problem solve, you're going to be a failure in life. You're going to make a lot of unnecessary mistakes you didn't need to be making. Had it, and all it would have took is for you to stop and think for a few seconds. So we just played the Y game, and Christy, she just joined us late. And I would like to try it one more time. Well, here come Blue Lotus. Okay, Blue Lotus is coming on now to join us, and we're gonna try the Y game one time with StreamYard and see if it work out. The delay might keep it from being smooth, kind of weird. So, whoops, there you go. I can't hear you. Did you say anything, Blue Lotus?
Oh, not yet. Can you hear me?
I could at first. It went out. Looked like it sounded like it faded out.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you clear now.
Okay.
Okay, so any questions you have about what we're doing so far?
Nope, not yet.
So do you want to play the Y game with us?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so now we'll be the two little birdies. And so we're going to do the Y. And Blue Lotus is going to name something she like or dislike. And it don't matter. It's your choice. It's up to you. And what you're going to do, the challenge for you is to think of as many things as you can. And as you saw, she competitive. She thought because she rattled off 15 different things that she won the game. That's not how you win this game. This game, there are no winners. Everybody is a winner because they participated, okay? So we're all winning if each person get a turn. So now it's your turn, Blue Lotus, to name something you like or dislike, and you got it now. We both saying the Y. This how it goes when it's in a group. Scoot over so you can see.
Okay. I like strawberries.
She said she likes strawberries. Why?
Because they taste good.
Why?
Because you can make jam with them. You can make a milkshake.
That's one. Just say one. You can make jam. Why? Come on.
You can make milkshakes.
Why?
You can.
And you supposed to say because too. Say because you can make milkshake.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Because you can freeze them.
Why?
Because you can make cookies with them.
Why?
Because you can make pies with them.
Why?
Because you can make cakes with them.
Why?
Because you can just plain old eat them. The way
Why?
Because they're easy to grow.
Why?
Because they're a pretty red color.
Why?
Well, at this point, I would say if you don't get somewhere.
if you can't think of anything else, the way you end it is say, I don't know. That's it.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, you did great for your first time. We're going to let Christy in on this one now. Hello, Miss Christie. Welcome to the chat. And would you like to try your round of the Y game with us? Hello, Christy. You there? Are you there, Christy? I don't know if she can hear me or not. Can you hear me, Christy?
She's muted.
Oh, she got herself muted. Okay. Okay, so my turn. Well, no, it's your turn now. You want to go one more time? No? You tired? Okay. Well, when you hear that, don't fake the fun. Don't force the feeling. You just say, okay, you go. Hey, Miss Christy. Huh? You did really well, Blue Lotus. That is exactly how the game is played. And when you get to the point where you can't think of nothing else, you just say, I don't know. And that's the game. That's everybody's cue that it's over. That you tired, you can't think of nothing else. That's it. That's it. That's all. That's all I got. And sometimes when you play the game, the person can't think of nothing. Like, um, let me see. I like hearts. I can't tell you not one reason why I like hearts, but I just do, and I'm always drawing them. I'm always writing them. I'm about love.
I forgot Jello.
Huh?
I forgot to say Jello.
But that's okay. Even if you forgot, the next time you play the game, you'll know to use it that next time. And that's what happens after you play the game. Everybody disperses and they start thinking about things that they could say the next time they play the game. So I want you to make me a promise. Would you make me a promise, please, and teach somebody else this game? I don't want you to do it if you don't want to do it. So that's why I asked you. Would you like to teach somebody this game?
I will try.
Okay,
Well, that's good.
that would be good. That's a good start. That's a good start. Well, we lost Miss Christie, but Miss Christie, this is not going to be the only time. I just started with the Y game because that's the easiest to introduce. More and more, it's more concepts. It's more you as the adult to steer your child, but you can use, children. You can use hand puppets to describe and play the little games. And each week we're gonna keep going until we get through the whole book of uh, ICPS. And at this point, I just wanted to introduce the Y game on our first session, but the rest of them will be more adult-like, and I don't know whether we'll have
Yeah.
my assistant here with us. I'm not sure. Um, we'll see. But even if she's not with us, we will be talking about, how to keep on progressing to the next level. So I like that you participated in this game one time. I happen to think it's fun because it makes you think. Didn't it make you think? You had to think of new things. You had to keep on
Yeah.
thinking
Especially
to come
since
up
I
with
picked.
that new thing.
Yeah, especially since I picked something crazy like strawberries.
Yeah, and then that's the thing. People have crazy things they do like and don't like. And that's what the game helps you learn about the other person. Now, me and my granddaughter know that Miss Blue Lotus likes strawberries, and we know
Yeah.
a lot of the reasons why.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that the game develops. It develops you empathy for other people because sometimes you'll be surprised why somebody likes something. When you hear them say it, they start saying the reasons why. Wow. Sometimes you're gonna be like, that's interesting. I never knew you liked that. Wow, that's interesting. I never knew you didn't like that.
Well, you know what? Something else that's interesting is this is a good dating game. You know what? If
Yeah,
you dating somebody and you trying to get to
yeah.
know,
It is a
that's
good
a good
icebreaker.
dating game.
It
Yeah.
is. It's very. You could actually use it that way. Exactly. And that's why I say, don't just start with the kids. I learned. If it weren't for me learning, it really wouldn't have had the impact. But I learned. It was a lot of light bulbs going on for me. Going, wow, I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Oh, and that would be a good icebreaker. It would, because I know my husband, when I first met him, he said, you need to give me the side effects. And I was like, side effects? What are you talking about? So he proceeded to tell me his side effects. He had me cracking up. He said, I was I was born Friday, July the 13th, 1956. Feet first, bad Friday. He said, I got teeth missing in the back and food flying in my mouth every now and then. And I was just cracking up with all these things, he was saying his side effects, and it made me think, well, dang, do I want to deal with that? Can I deal with that? And that is the best way to deal. So you could throw that why game in there. You could say, hey, I got a little game I learned on YouTube. Would you like to play it with me? It's called the why game. What the goal of the game is to get you to think of all the reasons why you do like or don't like something. And you can pick whatever that is, what you do like or don't like. But that's the first introductory game. Um, Miss Christie said, you still here? Here, what did it say? Just trying to get StreamYard up. Oh, okay. But I saw you. It was up. Uh, it was up. Another reason why this concept and learning critical thinking was important is because we as Black people, we've been introduced corporal punishment as a way to solve our problems with disciplinary behavioral problems with our kids. This gave us a way to solve it other ways. And so I kind of hate people saying, oh, he just all he needs is a strap on his behind, he'll be okay. Not all people
Yeah.
can deal with that. First of all, I got a child. You can whoop his butt to kingdom come until the snow fall in the summer, okay? He will not, if he's the type of child, if he see if it's a jar of cookies and he want that cookie in the jar, you told him not to have a cookie. He couldn't have a cookie. This child would just say, well, let's see, my mother just gonna whoop me if I get this cookie. Okay, I'll take the whooping. I want this cookie. You got kids like that. I'll take the whooping. And they don't care what it is. They're
Yeah.
gonna do whatever the consequence. Okay, I gotta stay in the hole, gotta stand in the corner. Okay, I want this cookie. I'm just gonna stand in the corner because I want this cookie. And its personalities are like that. We are born different. So we have to be able to get along with them types too. And if you raising one of them, you got to be able to figure out how to deal with that child without losing your mind as well. Hey,
Right.
Kareem Sugar, how you doing, baby? Welcome to the chat. It's almost, oh yeah, it's 9 o'clock. It's over as far as I'm concerned. As far as this session, I'll continue it if you like, because I was late. And therefore I feel like I do kind of owe y'all a little bit more time because I did say 7. I'm gonna be on time. I'm gonna make it, a priority. Like, well, I'm sticking stickers all around, and I got to get to it like it's a job interview. My sister, this is why Black Lives Matter. I love you, my Black queen. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. Well, I'm trying to help my nation, my peoples, become critical thinkers. Okay, this is these are words, and I'm putting up now. These are words that we are going to be going across in this book. Why and because. That was the why game I just told you. Each one of these phrases have a little game to it that you will be learning how to incorporate it in your life. So why and because, that's important. Half of our problems with communication is just asking the question why. And I'll give you a good example. When I was learning it, they had certain people come out to speakers, public speakers come out from different areas of the community. And one guy came and he said, he used this example. He said, Marquita was in the office every day fighting. And and they just considered her unruly and a disciplinary problem. Nobody stopped, not once. No matter how many times she got in trouble, nobody stopped to ask her why. And he said when he just asked her why, she was able to explain, well, they keep teasing me about my mama. Well, her mama turned out to be she a crackhead mama, so they was calling her crackhead mama. But guess what? Little Mary loved her crackhead mama. So she was in fights every day because she loved her crackhead mama. Even though mama's a crackhead, she loved her crackhead mama. So
Yeah.
you have to understand why people do stuff in order to know how to deal with, how to redirect it, the behavior. You have to start with why. Why do people do something? When you find out the why, they help give you a place to start problem solving and give solutions. Okay. Now there's the understanding that she loved her crackhead mama, able to sit there and talk to her and help her through, not being able to respond with just fighting all the time. Okay. So I love that story because I'm sure it's kids in that position that go through that, get bullied and whatnot by their parents, but they love their parents, no matter how bad and messed up they are. Little Johnny, little Mary, Susie love their parents. Okay, so that was
Right.
an example that was used for me when I was in the class. But the other words, I'm gonna hold them up. Might and maybe. I'm gonna give you a story about my life. One of the things I neglected to do as a parent is to be more understanding of them from a child perspective. Okay. So I told my son, I'll never forget this story. I told my son I had fish sticks. We had fish sticks. He wanted fish sticks. You know the little frozen fish sticks, they don't take but a minute to do in the
Mm-hmm.
microwave. So I told him, yes, I'm gonna make you fish sticks. I did not say when, though. This was the problem. I had a very impatient child, okay? And in his mind, because he didn't hear me say, I'm going to feed you fish sticks right now, he couldn't wait for that 1 minute. That 1 minute in the microwave, that 1 second
That's too long.
was too long for him. And he ate the fish stick frozen. So I learned the two words in that little episode, before and after. Okay, I was able to sit with him and say, before you eat the fish stick, you're going to have to wait till I put it in the microwave, and then you can have it after, and then he could deal with it. But me just going through the motion and getting ready to get it prepared, that was too much for him. That 1 second seemed like an hour because I wasn't answering his question right then and there. So that's another ICPS concept you're going to be exposed to in this little program I'm creating for us. Might and maybe. A lot of kids can't handle no. That was my child. He was Mr. Oppositional. So might and maybe goes a long way for a child like that because at the end, they think I got a chance to get it. Now, they don't know when you say might or maybe, you might be saying, hell no, ain't no way. But if you say no to a child like that, oh, they throwing a tantrum now. They in the middle of the Walmart throwing a fit because you know, you didn't say right now yes or no to whatever it is. So might and maybe goes a long way towards a situation like that where you got an impatient child like I did. Same
Yeah,
issue.
but
Go ahead.
what do you do if you have an impatient child and you yourself is impatient? Because I'm impatient.
Well, that's what this helps you understand why you have to have empathy, be more empathetic when things don't happen immediately for you. Now you might have to train your family so they could tolerate your impatience, but everybody is different. That comes up to the next concept you're gonna be introduced. Same and different. Same and different. Everybody is different. Nobody is the same. We're gonna be learning that concept, and that is part of learning empathy for other people, because everybody is not the same. Everybody is not different. Another communication roadblock I see a lot. Oh, I didn't write that word there. Um, Always and never. Okay, that's missing out of here. Always and never. Just pretend like this. Always and never. Do you know how many times I've heard my family say, "You always, you never," and who do you know always does something? Nobody.
Yeah.
You always. And so when you say always, you always, that person automatically becomes defensive. They like, first thing they want to do is, no, I don't. I don't always do that. Stop lying on me. Now you in a big argument because you said, I always. Well, you never cuddle. You never kiss. Don't do that. That's a word to stay away from because it makes the other person automatically defensive. Okay? So, other word pairs are fair and not fair. Okay? So, I could just challenge y'all right now, as far as that person who just recently lost his life to police brutality, do you think it's fair or not fair for that person who killed the other individual? Do you think it's fair or not fair for him to be free?
It's not fair. No, absolutely not.
So it's going to be a lot of scenarios in your life that you come across with your kids, and you're going to have to address it. Is this fair or not fair? And it makes them think. And the reason why it's so important is because you're making them think. Okay? A lot of the times, I give you an example. I had a my grandson was in here, and he was tapping on the shelf like this, making an annoying sound. You see, tapping. So he was tapping like that, and
That's
I
so
just
annoying.
stopped him. I just stopped him and I said, "Do you think that is a good thing, or it's not a good thing to do?" I didn't have to ask him. I didn't have to yell at him and say it's annoying. Stop that. It's getting on my nerve. A lot of us react
But
just because of the
see,
action. But when I
here,
asked him, "Do you think that is a good thing or not good thing to do?" He said, "Not a good thing." And guess what? I didn't have to say nothing for him. He stopped all on his own. That is the goal. And they don't even know they just been hit with ICPS just by doing that. He was doing that. I asked him. I made him think. Because what we do as parents so often is that we do the thinking for him. Now, if I would have told him that's a stupid thing to be doing, now he reacted to me calling him stupid. And we done forgot all about the issue is you tapping and that's annoying. But when I asked him, is that a good thing or not a good thing to do? He answered it himself. I didn't have to scold him. I didn't have to redirect him. I didn't have to yell. And all on his own, he stopped the annoying behavior. So that's the goal that we try to reach when we implement and introduce this into your child's life. And believe me, I think you're going to enjoy it. Anybody who wants this book, I'm giving it away free. It don't matter if it's 100 people. I'm keeping my word on this. If you're interested in it, all you got to do is hit me up in my email. I'm using StreamYard, so I'm going to put that email in the chat right now. Uh, Hit me up. Fat for Life TV, Fat for Life TV at Outlook. Outlook. Who am I typing? Outlook.com to get the Raising a Thinking Child. All you do is put critical thinking put critical thinking in the subject. And I know that's what you're trying to get is the book. And I don't mind giving it away. I'm going to continue to give this away every year. So I put that in the subject. Okay, we got Christy back. She's going to join us.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Miss Christy. How you doing?
All right.
Check.
Thank you.
I see you
How
saying
you
you
do?
guilty of that.
How you
Hey, Blue
doing?
Lotus, how you doing? All
Good. How
right.
you doing?
And I
Look,
see you
you.
said it gave you more insight to why we need to examine, why we need to think through things when we are stressed. Yeah. So many times
Yeah.
you react before you think about it, and then you
Yeah.
find out you overreacted to something that was really minor, you know,
Yeah.
and not think. And this game forces you to think. And the kids, it can be introduced to kids. And I got sick of these people with that were so intelligent, talking about they
Yeah.
got 50, 11 degrees and you
Yeah.
need to critically think, but they weren't really telling you how to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's some of us with we can critically think about stuff, with those degrees, but when it comes to real life, it's a different program.
Oh, a whole different program.
It's
And
a whole
somebody who
different
ain't never kids
program.
can't ain't never had no kids can't tell me nothing about raising
Uh-uh.
none, okay? So
Yeah.
you definitely got to be qualified. So for brother man, sister girl, if you ain't got no kids, we ain't got nothing to talk about. So um, but critical thinking everybody can use. So that's why
Yeah.
I'm introducing it. That's something everybody can use. When I got through the class, I was helped. It helped me reduce the stress. You when you a single parent, you the one used to bearing all the problems. And we as single parents tend to think for our kids. We don't let them think, do the thought process. And they do a lot of thoughtless things. Because you're going to hear, when you play this game, you're going to hear a couple of times when they say, I don't know. And they
Yeah.
say, yeah, that makes sense. You really don't know.
But
You
it
just
comes
did
to
something
see though,
impulsive. Go
too,
ahead.
adults need the same thing because
They
even
do.
me myself, work is separate from everyday life. And if I feel myself getting heated, then all rational thought and critical thinking goes out the door.
I
I'm ready to
agree.
go to 10. I'm
Yep.
ready.
There's a lot of people
So
that go from 0 to 10 quick.
yeah, so I wanted it because I noticed that one of my both of my children are grown, but they're totally different when you were talking about the same and different. And with
Everybody's
everything
different.
that's been going on this week, I got a son that could easily go to 10. And
Mhm.
with what's going on right now, I just saw when you were talking about it in the other videos, and I was like, well, it's simple enough where we can engage even as adults
As
to
adults.
think, to critically think. And I said, Miss Love could actually change this for adults where we interact better.
Yeah, that's my goal because I see it when I kept seeing these charismatic characters. This is why it's
Yeah,
important to have these skills because these
yeah,
charismatic characters come online and they getting your money and they got the
yeah,
gift for gab and they can
yeah,
feed you a lie and make it look so good and pretty that
yeah,
you won't believe the truth, okay? Because the
yeah,
lies look so good. We
yeah,
have to be able to critically think and discern whether we going and reaching our water and support that mess, okay?
yeah,
Or separate the person from the action. Because sometimes you can sum up a person and judge them by something they did, and that's not really the whole person. They
yeah,
they they are more. All people are more complex than that. Okay,
yeah,
and this was the best way that simplified it for me to help me get an
yeah,
understanding, it helped me have the language I needed to redirect and guide people back into this rational state of processing thought. Okay,
yeah,
um, that's the only way problems get solved. You cannot solve a problem when you ain't thinking. And you ever
yeah.
notice when
Oh,
two people be talking, they
oh
yelling,
yeah,
talking, who heard
yeah.
what? You ain't heard nothing because you both talking. Couldn't
No,
possibly nobody be listening. You both talking. It's not
yeah,
possible that you heard anything because you both talking. I see
yeah,
that a lot.
yeah. Even with
Hey,
adults.
piano girl. Thank you. I'm gonna do some more. We got some more garden uploads for you. We coming on that. Some more, some more. We got a lot of stuff we gonna plant and transplant. But thank you for coming to the chat. In this chat, we gonna talk about critical thinking. I just think it's so necessary. I just seen it over and over and over again with grown people,
Grown people, yeah.
especially my age. I'm 57, and I'm
Look,
looking
it's
at some of
me.
these 50-year-olds. This is
It,
my
yeah,
example. You don't represent me. So I started coming out and said, look, all of us ain't like that. Okay.
yeah,
And I can understand and see why some of the young people do curse out older people
yeah,
because they ain't got no self-respect.
yeah.
If they see 50-year-old acting a fool, they
What
feel
they gonna do? Yeah,
that that's not no example that I know. I'm at 57. I wouldn't curse no 87, 70-year-old
no,
out. That's the way
yeah,
I was raised and that's the way I was taught and trained. But when you see 50-year-olds acting a fool, what do you expect the 30-year-olds to do? They gonna act a fool right with you. Okay?
yeah,
And
yeah.
take it to a higher level because
Mhm.
that's what they used to, socializing on the mess. So
Yeah,
it ended up being a big explosive mess of problems.
yeah,
And nothing getting solved. And nothing is getting solved like that. Cursing
mhm,
each other out ain't solving the problem. You know? And the reason why that same and different is important because the same person can be different. Now, I know some of y'all gonna say this if I let this person's name slip out my mouth. VS is a good example. And just because she did what to me was some horrible things online as far as online behavior, that don't mean that is her whole person. And that
mhm,
critical thinking helps you have the ability to see that person as a
yeah,
person. As a
mhm,
person that's different from you. Now she may do some things different, but some of the things we say, we both have special need kids. We
mhm.
both have was on YouTube. We had that in common, but she's not all of YouTube. You know what I'm saying? That's not
Yeah,
all of her. I'm sure she has other parts of her personality that was not shared online that people don't know about. So everybody could be different. This game teaches you that everybody has a right to be different. You
okay.
don't want robotic thinking. You don't want. That's what problem we got with YouTube judging these videos. This robots. A robot can never think. All it can do is do what you program it to do. Okay. And it cannot differentiate between people. And once you learn how people are different, then you start reacting to each person differently. So when Blue Lotus was talking about how she's impatient too, well, I'm sure all her family understands she impatient. They kind of adjust for
Yup.
that. But
Yup.
the rest of the world, they don't know she impatient, but it's a good thing to share that so people will know how to adjust for you.
Is that why we on here, Blue Lotus? Because we both impatient, Lord. And I just saw that. That's why I said I see so much of the benefit, even like you were saying, it's so simple that children understand. But I see
Three
where
year olds.
I
Three
see
year
where
olds.
we missed out, where maybe somewhere along I got it when I was younger, but as an adult with so much going on in a stressful time, I see where it's beneficial for me as an adult that sometimes you need to take stuff simply,
Very
and just
simple.
take a step back as to why you feel it like this or why you
Mhm.
doing it. Or even in relationships. I would love
Even
to
in
see
relationships. Even in
I would love
relationships. In fact, when
to
I did this thinking thing a couple of years ago on Fat for Life TV, I got a second channel. I did it
take
on Fat for Life TV, and I gave them a homework assignment because it was the day of the election. I was upset in my emotions because who we had to vote for, what I wasn't happy about, Trump or Hillary. Didn't want to throw my vote at either one of them. So I came back, man, I'm angry. Coming back all this rage in me. I hate this election. And so my son wanted me to see we was both mad. I'm gonna say it like that. We was both mad about the election, but we was both mad for different reasons. That's how what I mean about same and different. Both of us are angry about the election, Both of them were for different reasons. He mad because I done had this list ready for him of people to vote, right? He done talked this out. So I did spend a little time trying to find out who these people was, that we had to vote for.
Yeah.
I'm getting mad because I'm looking at 1, 2, 3. At first, I thought I was looking wrong, that this was a preliminary ballot. Maybe it's not like that on the final ballot. Looked it up. The final ballot, no, it's 6 judges. Are you kidding me? Going for re-election with nobody running against them. What? So I said, the problem we've been having with politics is not Trump. It's not Hillary. It's not nobody taking it seriously. We all apathetic. I live in a white community, so it can't be a black-white thing. These white folks didn't come out and challenge another white person for this office of judge. And these judges get 6 years, okay? So you got that one that's putting brothers away in jail for a nickel bag. That's the same judge you gonna face. And so we have to be able to critically think because those kind of life situations. He was trying to get me when we got back from the election. He was trying to get me to see something, and I wasn't feeling it. And because I was doing something else and he was interrupting me. In fact, he was interrupting me. I didn't want to be interrupted. He sat up there and did the wide game because to see he didn't show as a kid that he was learning anything. But when I started rattling off the reasons why I was mad, he was saying, filling it in for me. Okay, why? And so he came up with all the reasons why I would be upset. Himself, why would I be upset about you interrupting me when I'm doing something else? So it helps throughout your life, all throughout. You'll see different reasons why this fits right here. You would change and adjust. As a person that I know is impatient, well, I'm not gonna make them wait because I don't want to feel the wrath of that person that's impatient. So I'll make an adjustment. Then you got my grandkids, both of them, the grandgirl and boy. Well, when you tell them to do something, they slow drag to kingdom come. That will make you tear your hair. Well, you got to deal with them a little bit more strategically. Like if you tell the grand boy his remote control cars in the car, he'll rush out to the car quick. And the grand girl, if you tell her about some food like her nana, she'll be quick to move. You talk about some food, Brielle, you want some food? She gonna be right there. Any other time she dragging her feet. So this help you make adjustments to each person because each person you got to deal with differently. There's no way you can cut out a cookie counter. Hey, thank you. I like them too. I haven't had these things for years. I love my earrings. Thank you. I appreciate the compliment. But anyway, I just wanted to get that off to a good start. I sorry and apologize again for being late. I'm gonna try to do better. That's all I can do is do better, y'all. But I wanted to at least keep my word. And my word was we having this class.
Well, I'm glad I caught it.
Again. Ooh, we going the wrong way. Can't see your face. This way.
Well, I'm glad I at least caught parts of it.
Yeah, and this is not it. I learned from last year. I need to do this, whether it's 10 people or one person in the chat.
Yeah.
I need to do this because one thing I learned about my videos, it may not blow up 1,000 in one day or 2-3 days, but 3 years from now, people done peeped it, okay? And I have views on the replay. So I feel like it's more my job to get it out there, to get the concepts out there and help empower you. Because we all can use it. I learned how to be a better person. I learned how to solve my problems a little differently and not be so quick to react and judge and be frustrated. I used to stay frustrated. stay frustrated by how other people react. But once you learn how everybody is different and you don't have that expectation of everybody to be the same, that reduce a whole lot of your stress. You able to go, woosah, okay,
Right.
okay. I'm not like you, and you not like me, and we're gonna start from there, all right? And you able to manage problems much more better. You'll find out you'll get a lot of relief. And me, in my case, I need all the relief I can get having fibromyalgia, because stress is absolutely a negative factor in that condition. So I had to learn, but I didn't know that that's what we was learning. And like I said, it was just something we did when my son was 9 years old. But I didn't know that my grown kids was gonna call me later and say, "Wow, I see what you mean, Mom. My friend just got in such and such a problem and they got stuck." They could not think of another way to solve their problem. So if you ain't got the light bill and somebody come and call you, say, I ain't got my light bill, and you can't help them with the money. If you have critical thinking, you can help them walk through things that they could possibly do. Well, did you call them and see, could you make an arrangement? Did you, did you see if you could pawn something? At least you'll be going through some routes to solve the problem.
Yeah.
Whereas normally we just, especially with the kids, we think for them. If they sitting up there doing wrong, like the example I told you about my son tapping on this shelf, we think for them before they even get a chance to think about right or wrong. We already telling them what's wrong. And guess what? They don't really learn that way by you telling them. What have you ever learned by just when somebody telling you? They told me about sex, didn't they? I still had it though, right? I got treatment. So you don't learn just by somebody telling you something, okay? So that's what I really appreciate about the program. So I feel compelled because I just seen too much. Especially when y'all know what charismatic characters I'm talking about coming on here talking about critical thinking and ain't critically thinking about a damn thing but themselves. Not even them. They're not even critically thinking about themselves. Okay. That's very egocentric thinking that they're doing. And they're not teaching you nothing about critical thinking. And I said, this gotta go. This got to go. I don't want to be accused or not. I want to be accused of being part of the solution, okay? And not just be another one of the problem, okay?
Right.
That's my goal. Anyway, y'all, I really enjoyed. Do you want to play the Y game? Did you get it? You want to try it with me one time?
I do want to try it. I do.
Okay. All right, Miss Christy. So name one thing you like or don't like, because like I said, you're gonna have little oppositional kids who gonna go against the grain everybody else, and they're gonna be like, I don't like. So you can say I don't like or I like.
Let me see.
Go ahead.
I don't like regular news, like on the TV. Okay. Oh, why? Oh, shoot. It's so negative.
Why? Okay, say because too, because that help you think of the next thing. Because it's so negative. Okay, why?
Because it doesn't highlight some of the positive things in the world.
Why?
Because the people in power think that garners more attention. The negative garners more attention. Because it's an easy focus on the negative than a positive.
Why?
For ratings. Because of the ratings.
Why? Don't worry when it get harder, because that's part of the exercise. It's training your brain to think of something different.
So does it, like, now I'm at a point when you just asked that, it made me question, well, why do I pay for cable? You it does. It makes you question why you even pay for it if you don't watch it all. So
That's true.
and that it
Sometimes
took me to that, and that's one reason why I recently cut it off. I think when we went to shut down, which for me being an outward type person, and then I had to be at home and work at home, when I started, you wake up with a negative and it starts sinking in, and then you start feeling bad, and you don't know why you feeling bad.
I cut the cord 10 years ago,
Yeah,
honey.
I cut it off, and I had never done that. But
But
when
you
I
know,
cut it,
So now the way we really play the game, I'm gonna redirect you back.
okay.
So can you think of more reasons why you don't like the news?
It makes me feel bad
Why?
because the news was always where the news seemed to be always negative. So it
Why?
made
Now you said that one already. You gotta think of something different.
me feel bad. I guess because it's negative. It just going back in a circle.
Yeah, okay. Now when you find yourself repeating or going back in a circle, you can just say, I don't know. That is your turn. Okay. So you don't have to feel nervous if you can't think of nothing else. You see how competitive she was. She listed 13 things she liked about YouTube. And just because I could only think of 3 things, yeah, I won. No, it don't work like that.
I should have said a food like Miss Blue Lotus. It would have been way easier.
Yeah, right. If I would
But
have
it
said
did make me
it would have
think
been
of
easier. Right.
it made me think of what I don't want in my spirit,
Right.
It just
So
think of what I don't want in my element anymore.
Yep. So I gave the people who I gave the wide game to, when the election was going on with Trump and Hillary, I told them exercise. This is how they did us in the class. Name somebody you can't stand. I mean, you can't stand them seeing, coming, sitting, or standing. You just can't stand them. Can't stand them. Hate to see them coming. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Name one good thing about them. Now, see, in the election when Trump and Hillary was going at it, they had that question in their panel. Name one thing you could think of good about Trump, and vice versa. Name one thing you could think of good about Hillary Clinton. Well, guess what? Hillary Clinton was facetious. She said, she was like up there stuck. Obviously, no critical thinking, no ICPS. She couldn't think of nothing. All she said was his kids. That's the good thing about Trump. Well, that's not a good thing about Trump. That's just his kids. Okay. She failed the test of coming up with one good thing, and ironically, Trump won that. Trump could come up with one thing about Hillary, even though he couldn't stand her. He had all kinds of negative things to say. He could come up with that one thing. Now, I don't know if he practiced it or not, but that was good ICPS. He was able to come up with one good thing about Hillary, and what he said about her, well, she doesn't quit. That's a good thing. He stayed in the race to the end.
No, that was Hillary,
she had the election in the bag, and she's so much better option than Trump, and played herself. Because see, it was people out there like me that was critically thinking. I said, well, damn, she couldn't come up with one thing, and even Trump couldn't come up with one thing. Well, I don't want neither one of these fools. I went with the Green Party. But I'm just saying, in real life, that you can apply these skills to real life, and you're going to find yourself doing it. Once you master them, you're going to keep wanting to do it, and the people that you teach are going to be benefited from it. They're going to be grateful that it was introduced to them. That's my opinion, because it was for me. My kids didn't even know they was learning something, but they came back to me as adults saying, I see what you mean. I see what you're saying now. They get it. Light bulb went on for them, because they peers, they were seeing it time and time again. Peers can't figure out what to do with themselves once they think of one way and that way don't work out. You can't get stuck. Can you imagine if we was in prehistoric time and you got away from the dinosaur? You can't just think of one way, because the dinosaur gonna figure out where you at. The next time, so you gotta stay on your toes and keep thinking of more than one way to solve a problem. We would have been extinct a long time ago if we didn't have it. But we lost that. We done got cushy. That idiot box, the TV, done got us brainwashed and bamboozled to where we don't think. We don't stop and think about anything that we do. We just reacting. All the riots is proof of that. That's just people reacting. Even with the marches and stuff was going on, people was doing the march, but they had a strategic plan of what they were doing all during, before, and after. Okay? After they were still boycotting the transportation company, right? So they were still sitting in the dining, at the sit-ins where people would get arrested when they sit in and dine, and just two more people fill their spot. They ain't got it organized like that. And it's not organized around any kind of particular cause. What they need to be doing is coming together, because I think we all can agree that that's fucked up that another man lost his life in front of the cameras for the world to see. We can rally around that and agree that that's a fucked up situation. So can we think of a different way to solve the problem besides busting out windows and looting and hoarding? That didn't solve the problem, did it?
But those people who are out there looting and stuff, they had nothing to do with the march. They were just people who went out looting.
Yeah, just taking advantage of the situation, as do predators do. That's what predators do. So we got to be ready for it. That didn't solve their problem. Looting and hoarding ain't gonna solve the problem. It's gonna take a lot of critical thinking, a lot of logical thought. Okay, you can't get logical results with illogical thought. Okay. Okay. He said, "Yes, you make sense. Thank you, 6669. I'm trying to make sense, my friend. I'm trying to make sense up in here on these YouTube streets." Oh, yeah, that's right. I got Facebook in here, too, in these internet streets. Okay, you want to join the stream?
Hey, I just wanted to join real quick to say hello.
Hello. First time meeting you. That's one thing that's fascinating about these chats. We see the people for the first time. Some people I've been knowing for years and never seen their face.
Yes, indeed. And I actually like what you're talking about. It's pretty interesting.
Thank you.
To hear,
I appreciate that. I'm trying my best. When I see a problem, that's me trying to solve the problem. I feel like if I put the information out there, you ain't gonna blame me for why things are like that. Because I'm doing what I can do. Yeah. I'm doing my part on what I can control. I can control my platform and my little world and put it out there. I feel like if I put it out there, the universe is gonna take care of the rest. I've had people stumble on my videos years later and said, "Girl, your video inspired me so much." Years later, after I did it, some of them come on there. I know this is late, but girl, you really hit home on this one. This resonated with me. So that's why I'm doing this too. It's for the same reason. When it was a lasting impact on my life to be exposed to this kind of thinking. It actually helped. And I didn't really realize how much until my grown kids came and said, "Mom, I see it." And they always coming back to me with new incidents. Girl, child. Woo, can you believe so-and-so and such and such? That's because they ain't been trained. When you get that,
and you know what's the most amazing thing? That your hard work pays off.
Yeah, it does. It does. I didn't see it. As a single parent, my son was still a hell of a son of a gun to raise. Don't get it twisted. But he's a wonderful man, a productive man, one that I'm proud to speak on and say, because he got the right kind of training. Basically, he's the type that we would have written off years ago, that he was destined to jail and that kind of thing. But he didn't. That's because he had a good foundation, a mama who loved him, and a mama who learned how to raise a thinking child.
I love your earrings.
Thank you.
Yes, they look so lovely.
Thank
and
you.
they have your name on. They have your name on it. Love.
I love love.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Oh, we
Oh
lost
my.
Christy. Oh, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
what happened to Christy?
Uh-oh. Christy, you
Oh,
left us. All right. Well,
She,
yeah, I'm
she probably
about to wrap
back.
this up because I got a child that haven't ate, and I haven't ate either. And we
Me
both
either.
foodies. Huh?
I I didn't eat either.
Yeah, we both foodies, so we about to crack a lack down on some chow.
What y'all gonna eat?
Well, we gonna
will
split
it be
this
dinner
out.
time for you ladies? I mean,
Uh,
for me, well, yeah, it's already around dinner time for me too.
This is late. I
yeah, this
usually
is
be in the
late.
bed, but
It's almost
I wanted to do this, and I picked 7 and 9 because I figured y'all be home from work by 7, and that would I was hoping I capture more people that at that time of the day. But I'm a day person. I'd rather do it in the morning, but I'll be
mm,
camera ready. Who want to get up and they looking like buckwheat by the head, head standing all over me? I don't want to get on camera then, so I made it an evening, and
yeah.
I'm committed to this. And I'm gonna ask my friend Blue Lotus to stay on my butt
Oh
to
yeah,
keep
you know I will.
7 to 9 slot, because I don't like that either. I can't be making an excuse for bad behavior. So if I say it's a certain time, I need to stick to that, and that's something that I got to work on and need to do in my life. So
And I love.
I
I'd like to say you are very lovely. You are a lovely lady from head to toes, and not only that, but like on the inside out, from inside out. You're. I mean, just looking at you, like you inspire people. I mean, you even motivate me to come here on your live and at least say hello to everyone and encourage everyone to
appreciate it.
do the right thing.
I
Uh,
appreciate it. I ain't gotta have 1,000 people in chat for me to feel confident. My confidence comes from within. Nobody can give you self-esteem. You got to have esteem of yourself. So and then what
right.
Cat Williams
Yes,
said,
that is correct.
self-esteem. What do you mean I messed up your self-esteem? You got to have esteem of yourself. That's what it
Well,
Right.
means.
actually, I actually do. Actually, and now that you mention it, it does come from within. But at the same time, like looking at people like you, it kind of just makes you just wanna like do your thing, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah. She's nice and bubbly.
I appreciate that, but I want to know about your name because you know about me having known something about the
Well,
Bible.
well, you know.
Six
Oh,
six.
okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, my name has nothing to do with religion
Okay,
or
okay,
anything related.
okay.
Um,
I
I,
thought it had
I,
something to
I
do
won't
with
It's
deny the fact that
sexual.
I'm not religious, but like I won't offend anybody's religion. I respect that, and I mean it has to do more with Tesla and numerology. I don't know if you guys ever
Oh,
heard of Tesla.
oh, okay. I
Oh,
heard
well
of
that's
Tesla.
cool.
You know, I'm
Yeah,
into.
because this his
Yeah, because I'm
numerology has to do with like the number nine. It revolves
yeah.
all around the
Okay,
number nine,
okay.
and
Yeah. Yeah, I
whenever
think
you add like up like digits and they add up to nine, nine is the dividends of them. And at the
Okay.
same time, when you do geometry, if you really look at it, there's a lot of number nines in it. Like for instance,
Oh,
180 degrees,
oh,
one plus eight equals nine. 45 degrees angles, 4 plus 5
yeah.
equals nine.
True,
Yeah, all
true.
that stuff, like it just kind of makes sense when it comes to perfect angles, right
Oh,
angles, and all that stuff.
okay. Okay, now
Yeah,
I'm gonna be looking at you sideways because I either thought you was the devil or you like 69 in the bedroom.
no, no,
well
nothing to
see,
do with Lucifer or
well
Satan.
you don't well yeah, I kind of knew because I'm a spiritualist. I'm not religious. I don't follow the Bible, so I
Okay,
kind of knew.
okay. All right, well, I can deal with it now because I kept seeing you. I was like, I don't know what he look like. He got horns on his head. Talk about I'm nice.
Yeah, but like I mentioned earlier, I did used to be Christian back then, and I had my reasons to not
I used
believe,
to
but at
be.
the same
I
time,
have
like
my
I'm
reasons.
not gonna disrespect anybody who doesn't believe
Yeah,
the same as me, because I understand that in the world there's multiple
Yeah.
everybody gonna
different
be different. That's how
universes.
I'm able to accept it. Because when you it's so many people that become fanatical, whatever it is, whether you're spiritualist or hotep or whatever, they get it's the
Mhm.
fanaticism that gets in the way of
Hmm.
whatever the religion was trying to teach. The
Yeah,
connect,
whenever you become fanatic, it's kind of like your ego goes all the way up, and
absolutely.
no one, and it's like I'm right, no matter what you say,
Yeah,
you're wrong, and and you get that
Right.
kind of mentality, and that just throws everything off. That
it's a
just
turn off. It's a turn
yeah,
off. Yep, for sure. So yeah,
Yeah,
this
I don't do
go ahead.
I don't mess with people or make fun of their religion or anything like that. I don't
Yeah.
know what is wrong with my sound cuz my little thing ain't moving. Move.
I see it, it's
What
moving.
is oh, y'all can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clear.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
mm,
I never say anything about anybody's religion. I used to be a
Either.
Christian myself too. And
I
now I'm
used to
not.
be I used to be,
So,
I can't say I'm 100% no more. But I just have, well, a lot of the Bible been debunked. Okay, so I can't ignore that.
right.
And at the end of the day, if the God that I've been made to learn gonna burn me in hell to eternity because I have doubts, then that's a wishy-washy God that I really just can't back up with following. I would like
Right.
to believe that my life as a whole means something to where it spare me from the gates of hell. So
yeah. That's a very good point. Hmm.
anyway,
Yeah.
I strive to be a good person, and I think and you learn how to be right from wrong 7 8 years old. Right by that time, right from wrong, and I feel like from that point to now to the day you die, right from wrong. So
Yes,
I
and
just try to do the
I
right
think
thing.
morality mainly should come from empathy, being able to put yourself in other people's shoes. You
Yeah,
know,
Right.
like in the golden rule, just treat others the way you expect to be treated yourself.
exactly.
And that everything else derives from that.
It
I mean,
does.
when it comes to good stuff.
It really does. It all emanates from that. How you want to be treated, that's where you should be treating people, you know. But a lot
I
of people don't follow that. A lot of
I
people
keep saying
ego is too big to do that.
I keep saying I'm gonna do a live on all of this. Gather up some people and do StreamYard and talk about the difference. Christianity versus
Mhm.
spiritualist. Get into a little bit of numerology and
Well, I'd be interested because I don't really know all the difference. And you see the characters come on here who, represent each one. It's like, who do you pick? It ain't no TV guy for YouTubers,
Yeah,
You don't
right.
know who the good ones are.
yeah,
Yeah.
and those are, if you really think about it, there's three things that I wouldn't talk about publicly, like, and that would be sports,
Yeah,
religion, and
religion
politics.
and
Those
politics.
three things, those three things,
Yeah.
you're always
I
gonna
leave
have,
them alone. Hey,
a pro and a
Lala,
con, and a Democrat and a
hi, hi,
Republican,
how you doing?
Christian
Yeah.
and a Catholic,
Yeah.
so
Oh
forth.
gosh. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't land on those landmines. I know they landmines. And this is why I choose critical thinking, because
Yes,
that cuts across all religions, all nationalities, all social economics status.
yes,
You need to be able to critically think. I don't care where you are in the world. If you in the rainforest and all you know is is hunting for everything, you still know how to. And they probably get it naturally just because you do have to rely on the elements, to make decisions. But us, we done got lazy because we done had an idiot box sitting in front of us. And I know I got a parent who put me in front of the TV, and that was the babysitter. And I know it's a bunch of y'all out here, single parents, that got the screens, these things, and you never see your loved ones bring their head up just to say hello because they like this all day.
Yep.
That's not a good thing. So when I see that going on, that made me say, Naomi, you need to get in here. You called. You're called to do this.
Right.
Christy Lewis said, I can hear you, Blue Lotus. Everyone needs to become more spiritually connected to learn more about themselves. I agree. How you doing, loving my hair? We at the end now. I'm
Yeah.
gonna try to do better and be on time next Thursday. Cause how you gonna set a time and you still be late for the time you set? That's a problem.
Go subscribe to my channel, and then
Oh yeah, everybody go subscribe to Blue Lotus. Show us some love and support, and
Yeah.
also loving my
name-
hair. She got a channel. She's a creator. Do you do create content 669?
Yes. Yes, I actually have another channel. It would be Jose M. Castellanos. It's spelled CASTELLANOS.
TASTELL. Say that.
ANON.
ANO.
I can't stand
So it
it.
would be Jose M. Castellanos.
I can't stand.
It has an image of a Bible and it says "Read me."
Oh, okay. So it's spelled JOSEN or AND
Wait,
or just
um,
M.
Jose M. and then Castellanos. My
I'm
last
trying
name.
to type it in the chat. Jose M. Okay. All right. Okay. I put it in the comments. And Christy Lewis, do you have a channel? Because I believe in networking. I don't believe this is a popularity contest. I believe it's a social network that YouTube is the one that's delusional about their social networking position. Okay, thank you, Blue Lotus. Okay,
now,
people will be able to.
When y'all go look for my channel, you have to put in the Empress, and then the whole thing will come up because it's a really long name. It's Empress.
Okay.
It's the Empress Blue Lotus. Oye Ma'at. Well, it's right here in the chat too. So anyway, I put it in there. But
okay,
yeah.
How about you, Christy? Do you have a channel? Do you have a channel, Chrissy? Well, anyway, definitely take a visit to my channel. Now, I haven't been doing much on Fat for Life TV because I was building this channel, They Love Up. But my Fat for Life TV really focused on the plus size of me.
Yes, Christy, I agree with you. We do need to become more spiritual in a certain way, or in a sense, or at least learn about spirituality or different types of things, but be with an open mind, and it kind of helps us learn a little bit more about ourselves, or at least about human nature and human history.
I mean, I think we all need it. You always need to know where you are in the world. In any point in time, you need to know who you are, why you do the things you do, why are you striving for the things you're striving for. And I don't know, me, it's being spiritual helped me be empathetic to other people, because I do not want to do unto others unless I want that same thing done to me. So that part don't stick with me, regardless of whether you call it Buddhism or Hinduism or whatever. I'm still gonna really live my life that way, as far as doing unto others as I would have them to do unto me. So I do think spirituality is important. I feel like what we experiencing now is a moral bankruptcy, basically, for America.
Yes,
So,
that's yes, you're right.
It's like one thing you take prayer out of the schools, okay, but this way I'm standing, you need to put something in its place. So I believe that you can come up with 10 principles that all religions agree. We agree thou shalt not kill. I mean, what religion that say you should kill? I don't know about one. It might be, I'm sure, some out there, but thou shalt not kill. Pretty much, you can agree across the board, no matter what religion you are, you shouldn't do that. Or, thou shalt not steal. Well, you shouldn't take something of somebody else. So I seem like instead of just taking prayer out because you praying to Jesus, we'll put something in its place. Where I want to take a moment of silence to wish well-being on my fellow man, brother, or sister, or something like that. Come up with, I feel like it's just crazy to me that you can't come up with like 10 principles that you can meditate on for a minute. Because I feel like when you take prayer out and you don't give something in replace, like my son is real radical. We all Israelites. We ain't black no more. We can't even be black no more, child. We can't even be black no more. God damn. We they just took the African American. You know you don't want to be called nigga, but now you want to take black from me? Okay. Black is what I'm holding on to. If you don't put something in its place, you can't take that from me if you don't put something in its place. So, and he say Israelites. Okay, that's not gonna work for everybody that's black. Everybody that's black ain't gonna say they Israelites. Okay, so you gotta come up with something. Okay, so in my mind, melanated works well for me, but you can't just take it away and say, "Oh, we ain't black, we ain't niggas no more, we ain't black no more, we ain't African American," and don't put something in its place. Well, what are we? We are something. Because I'm clearly, obviously, that's something. Ain't nobody gonna mistake me for no other race. I'm walking in and I look like a particular race. Okay. So whatever that is, I don't care what you name it. We gotta be something. It's
Right.
gotta be something. You can't just take it away and then don't have something in its place. And so
Right.
taking prayer out of the schools and taking everything associated with religion, I don't think that was a good thing. I think only because they didn't put nothing in its place. They didn't put no 10 principles or moral standard or code that we should live by, that we should all agree that these are good things to strive towards or do or be as people. It don't have to be religious oriented. It don't have to be owed to any one God or deity. I think we need to do that.
Well,
That's
I
what's
remember being little. I never pray. It was like I meditated, even though
yeah.
I didn't know
I
what
still don't know how to
meditation was.
meditate.
Even
I'm
though I
too
didn't know what it
ADD.
was, that's what I did.
I get so distracted. I gotta learn. I want to learn to meditate.
I've
Yeah.
tried meditation, but for some reason, I always get distractions really easily. I'm
I'm
like one of
very
those persons that my mind's constantly just working and working, and
That's
I
me.
can't get it to stop.
That's me. That's me exactly. That's why it never worked. I
Well,
can't stop. I can't turn it off.
you have to find your niche. Like I I like the bowls, the chimes. I like
Oh,
that,
okay,
but
okay,
that really helps.
okay.
Now somebody I put this in one of my groups, and somebody said they dance, and that's how they
Oh,
meditate. So
hmm.
I'm gonna try that and see how that works for me.
Well, I would have been all for that 10 years ago. Well, not even 10. My niece said, "But bitch, you got." In my viewers of viewpoint, but bitch, you gotta come up with something else besides the dancing, cause these knees ain't finna. No, they ain't finna do no more dancing. I'm sorry, y'all. The day ones, the dancing days is over, unless I have a walker.
Mhm. One thing I learned about us humans, our subconscious mind knows no impossibles.
Right.
So that's why when it comes to the rules, I think it's not that the rules are bad. Like for instance, like don't kill, don't steal, don't do bad things, right? They're not bad rules. The problem with it is when you tell someone to don't do something or you forbid someone from doing something, it's kind of like they feel like they're being challenged to not.
Oh
It's kind
yeah,
of like a dare. It's kind of like a dare. Like they feel like I dare you to do it, like or you wouldn't
oh
dare to
yeah.
kill someone.
You got
You know,
those
you know what I mean?
oppositions.
Some people can take it that way, and for some reason they end up that's probably part of the reason why they end up doing the wrong thing and they end up being transgressors of the law, breakers of the law.
Yeah,
I think the law should
because
be written a different way, like maybe like in a positive way, like do a positive to your brothers and sisters, or
right.
be always be loyal. I think the most like the greatest law of all of them would be loyal, honest to
Mhm.
yourself and
Mhm.
your neighbors, and if you are able to do that, I think you'll be able to handle everything that has to do with not you, because when you're loyal to someone, you won't steal from them, you won't lie to them, you won't cheat on them,
Right.
you won't do any of those bad things, so I think that would be the greatest law, and if you
I
just
still
made
think
that
you
law.
need to instill it because my son is oppositional, and so is mine. granddaughter, as y'all seen, was just simply the Y game. She was trying to be opposite. Okay. Um, I still gave it to him. What moral ethics as I understood them. I still gave it to him because when people ask him, well, what made him change? Because they think he changed so much. Because from a child, he was a hell of a child to raise to now. People see the change, and so they ask him what made him change. Well, he said, really, nothing made him change. What the difference is, he was an oppositional child. He wasn't going to do anything he don't want to do. That's just period. If he didn't want to
Yeah.
do it, he didn't care if you got beat, webs on your back, extension cord, that wouldn't matter. This child would still go and do whatever that is, that thing that which you call yourself forbidding them not to do, because the consequences, they did not care about the consequence. What he said, the only thing changed about him is that now he wants to do it. That's it. He
Yeah.
wants to do the right.
And you know what? Whenever it comes to change or you cannot change another person.
Yeah, he
The only
said,
person who can change
I
you
have
is
a
I can only change myself. I can only change myself. I can only convince myself that I am doing wrong whenever I'm doing something that is unethical. Only I can convince myself that I'm doing it wrongly, and I can make that decision to say, you know what, I'm gonna make a change for the better of
and I
myself.
think with him, he suffered enough consequences, that said, that ain't working for me,
But you know
So
what? Even if you're oppositional, can't you outgrow it? Is there such thing? You think you can outgrow it?
my son is definitely proof of it. Yes, you can. Absolutely. Outgrow it. Yeah. My son's a perfect example. When he was little, if I wanted him to sit down, I had to say, stand up, and you bet not sit down. Then he'll sit right down. So some of it is just you
Oh,
readjusting to
so
them.
he liked the challenge. He liked the challenge of like, I dare you to stand up, and
Yeah.
and he
They
would
gonna
sit
do
down.
it.
He would do
This
the
girl,
opposite.
this girl
So
is
it's
the
all the
same
reverse
way. And
psychology.
the only difference is she's a girl. That's it. She's the same way. She just because you said to do something, she don't want to do it. So you gonna run into a problem just for that. So by you knowing that, because my son gave me training, I got training from him, so I'm ready for her. So if I want her to do something, I gotta tell her the opposite. So if I want her to sit down, you better stand up. And she gonna stand up, happily do it, because she just wanted to be oppositional. And you can't. They can't help themselves. That's what I had to learn. Once
It reminds me
I
of my
realized
sister.
that
You
that's
know, my
just
sister.
part of their DNA
Mm.
makeup. I stopped stressing out about it. It's like, okay, why can't you just cooperate? Why can't you just sit down? Because I said sit down. You know, they couldn't help being who they are no more than I could. No more than I could change my nose, my lips, my eyes, my hair. They couldn't do it either. And once I got over that, then I stopped stressing out on why they didn't do things this way or that.
Right.
So,
Right.
Now that you were talking about your was it daughter-in-law, if I'm not mistaken? Well, anyways, it reminded me of like my sister. Like she was in physical PE, and the thing is, she wanted to go sit down. So what she did, like they were supposed to be running. So what she did, she was just walking, and the PE teacher, he's like, "Hey, Castellanos, go sit down," and she's like, "Thank you. That's what I wanted to do."
yeah, and sometimes that's the reason why this one is so important. You gotta wonder why. Why is she just walking? She got her own reason. When you find out why, that's half the battle. She just wanted to sit down. Okay, sit down.
Yeah, that's me.
Half of your problems get solved by asking why. And if we don't do that enough, there's certain people who be collecting cash apps all the time. Why?
Yeah.
Why do you need my cash app?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Dollar
Why
sign
is
on the
a very
cash app.
important question. That's that's why I like this game. The whys of everything help you get it together. Okay. So I still want y'all to go through that challenge. Name one thing good about somebody you cannot stand, that forces you to do critical thinking. I give y'all another example. I used to be in a lot of groups, and you know, me and you, Blue Lotus, met in the group. I was in a lot of Facebook groups. There was people adding me to groups every day, hundreds and hundreds of them. And it was one group that was so huge, it was like 170,000 people in it. And and it helped me. What that experience helped me with understanding why people do stuff too. Um, oh, I just lost my thought. Anyway, um, why is a very important thing. I'm trying to remember what I was trying to say about that. Can't think it. I lost my thought. I'm tired. That's what that is.
I know, right?
I lost my thought on that. Anyway, uh, everybody is gonna be different, and as soon as
Yeah,
we realize that, that reduces your stress that you carry 100%.
right.
Soon as you say, okay, well, she ain't like me, I can't make her be like me, and this one still gotta learn it. Because I'm not like you, don't make you a bad thing. It don't make it a bad thing that I'm not like you and you're not like me. I'm not going to necessarily like the same things that you do. I don't
Right.
love you any less, and I hope that
Right.
you don't love me any less because I don't like what you do. My grandson, he was driving me nuts with his RC car. Every few seconds, he's showing me something about this car. Honey, I can't stand cars. I don't like them. That's not my thing.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you try to amuse the
Oh, he
kids.
got disconnected. That's what happened. Okay. Yeah, you know, everybody's not going to be the same. Okay.
Right.
And as soon as you realize that, oh, here she goes. She back. Welcome back, Chrissy.
Yeah,
Soon
I've been
as
here.
you-
It was like I went to a background or something.
Oh,
So
I
I
guess.
was typing in the live comments, but I was listening to everything.
Did
Yeah,
you?
I'm easily
Was
distracted
she
like you.
backstage? You done left somebody backstage.
Nobody backstage now.
I'm
Everybody
talking.
know.
You left her backstage.
I didn't know. Oh, you know what? That's okay. It was flickering. Okay, my picture kept flickering, and I didn't know why. Okay, I bet you that was backstage.
Yep, that
I
was
don't know.
backstage.
Oh, okay, y'all. So I just learned something. I just learned something. I just learned something. Um, oh, I think somebody backstage now. How do you see the backstage people?
How did you
I
put me
don't know.
on? You put
Because
me
I'm
on some kind
flickering
of way.
again. Hold on, let me see. I don't see where you can see the backstage people.
Because it
It
said
just
only you can
flickered.
see us. That you can only you're the only person that can see us.
Yeah,
That's what
you're
it
the
said.
only person can see the backstage people.
I can't see none of them. I see my screen flickering. There's somebody else in backstage trying to come on.
Well, just let them on.
I don't see them. I don't
Well,
see
just
them.
hit whatever you hit to let people on.
It's only y'all, you and Chrissy.
Well, then how do you know it's somebody back there? Now,
Because I
what have you
see my
done?
screen flicker. Okay. I don't know. I don't know why that is. Okay. I don't know why my screen is flickering because it seems like I see somebody trying to come in. Anyway, oh, this dress or blouse. This is
That's a bathing suit.
it's a bathing suit. I love I love to buy bathing suits as tops because it's hot. It's hot today.
Yeah, it was hot. Yeah,
And
I was at that
this my
darn grocery
favorite
store.
top. This is the perfect thing for sweat. It
Yeah.
dries quick and it's comfy. It's stretchy. So I do that often. I wear swim tops as blouses. My son gave me a compliment today. Oh, you look nice.
Aw.
It looked nice on me. Thank you.
Yeah, it does. And
Appreciate
I'm
the
telling you,
compliment.
if you had a son that gave you a compliment, then you know you really look
And
nice.
he into his clothes, and um, he didn't want me to go to my hair. He said, "You you be having it on point sometimes." He didn't want to really give me my props. He didn't want to give me my props all the way, but I know a little something. I know a little something.
But yeah, I enjoyed it tonight because I think uh critical thinking goes beyond what I just do at work because I'm a registered dietitian and I'm a scientist. And I
It's
want to
over.
really I was
Oh,
married.
yeah, I just remember. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was married a long time, and now that went through a divorce, and now the kids are grown. Just wanted to learn something about myself that doesn't relate to everything that ties me to everything and everyone else, like ties me to work or
Mhm.
ties
Right.
me to family or friends or what everyone else needs of me. I wanted to tap into who Christy was. And that's
Yeah.
one reason why I wasn't afraid of using my own name on YouTube because it was all about once no time in my life because I've been working since I was 13 have
Mm.
I ever had an opportunity to just be at home. And I
Oh,
thought
okay.
at first, when we went into this lockdown
Mhm.
situation, it seemed to be like a life sentence. If for somebody that's always on the go
Yeah,
or always doing it, and I had to take that moment
definitely.
and just
You
be
know, I
grateful.
got ADD people in my family. They can't sit down and say they life, so this is torture.
Yeah, but then there's so many people that are in, their 30s and 40s that are just checking out early. And did they ever get a chance to explore themselves and really tap into things that you really like? And I think the critical point for me came several years ago was in counseling with my ex-husband and um the the counselors asked me, he asked me about everybody. Like
Mhm.
what was everyone's favorite color, like we were
Mhm.
doing earlier. And
Yes.
then he finally about 10 minutes later said, "What's your favorite color?" And I could not answer him. And he
Mm.
was asking me about things, what did I like? And I could not answer him. But I answered for everyone else. And
Yeah.
Okay,
was
yeah.
the
Now
ultimate
that's not
eye
a good thing. Answering for everybody else, but you can't answer for yourself.
yeah.
Uh,
So
yeah.
that's why I thought that this was an optimal time where, I had to be at home, and then I was like, well, how ungrateful it is to for the first time in your life to be home and to make a decision and say no to people or just say no to certain things to just focus on yourself and that is not selfish
Mhm.
because so many people believe that or even as a child growing up made to believe that it's selfish of you to concentrate or do something for yourself.
Mm-mm,
Right.
no,
And it's
ma'am.
not.
No, ma'am. How can you be any good to anybody if you don't
Right.
start with
Yeah.
yourself?
Right.
I finally thought about what I was trying to say about the group. What I would do as a game, it was sort of like the ICPS game, but they didn't really know it. Um, y'all ever seen the memes where it's like a ugly, real ugly man with his teeth missing or something, you know,
Yeah.
and look crazy? Well, people would always post those kind of posts and say, comment or caption this. Well, I challenge them to say something nice. And you can tell the critical thinkers that come through because they couldn't do it. The ones that didn't have critical thinking, they couldn't do it. They couldn't come up with one nice thing about that picture of the man who looked kind of grotesque. People who could critically think, they could come up with different things. Well, I see you got a lot of space between your teeth. Instead of so that's a challenge. I would put those up all the time. crazy looking memes that make you think, and you want to say the obvious, but when somebody come out and challenge you to say the opposite, that's challenging. You can't even say one nice thing about this person. That's your lack of critical thinking.
Exactly.
So I would force people, and I was in this group. It was a roasting group. They love roasting people pictures. They would go on Facebook and pull up some crazy picture of a person. And me in my opposition, because I didn't know why my kids were so oppositional, but I realized they got a little of that from me. I'm oppositional to a point. If they say, you fat, you can't wear that. Yes, I can.
Guess what?
I'm automatically going to do it.
Look what
Just
I'm
because they said
wearing.
I couldn't do that. Just because they said I couldn't. So it's a skill we need to have. And if we don't use it, you do lose it. So that's why I'm reintroducing it. Because when I was telling my grandson he needs some more lessons, he tried to be smart. Do you need some lessons? He thought I was talking down to him, and I was just saying, no, I could tell you haven't been exposed to this kind of thinking because you one of the ones saying you always, you never, what makes people automatically defensive. So I said, no, I need the lessons too. And that shut him up, Mr. Trying to get smart with me. No, I need more lessons too. You never learn too much. That's what I'm saying. It ain't no such thing as mastering this and you never need more added on. You can always add to it and grow from it. Okay. So it's just a life skill that'll always be, you're going to continue to tweak it. You're going to continue to use it and continue to tweak it. And once you use it, you don't want to go back. I used to be so anxious. Snowball, they call it snowball thinking. Oh my God, if I don't get this done, this gonna happen and that's gonna happen and that's gonna happen, and you keep on rolling into a snowball, and all of a sudden it's an avalanche, and you can't stop that train of thinking. This helped me stop doing that completely. Wait a minute, snowball, hold it right there. We're gonna think of a way to solve this problem. Before I would just be spinning my head. Ooh, I can, oh, it's gonna happen, and this gonna happen, and this gonna happen, this gonna happen, till it turn into one little snowball, turn into an avalanche, and now you stressing totally out. And for some of us, we stroking out, we heart attack out. Okay, so that's another reason why it's important for us to learn this, so we're not doing that.
Right.
One time I was in the doctor's office, and all I was doing was talking about my son. I was just talking about him. The nurse asked me. I got to talking about, she took my blood pressure. My blood pressure was like 200 and something. And they was like, Miss, you should be dead. I was like, what? And
yeah,
that's all I was doing. I hadn't smoked a cigarette. I hadn't ran no marathon. I didn't run up a flight of stairs. All I was doing was talking about my son. That was a wake-up call. That was a wake-up call. Your blood pressure ain't supposed to be that high where the doctor telling you supposed to be dead. Because you simply talking about the situation. So I knew I had to change. I knew I had to change some of my ways. The anxiety was getting the best of me and frustrated, and this helped me. So I'm promoting this. If you have an older child, you want this book, you can get it. The preteen one, the teenage one. This is for the primary child, and they got a preteen one. Same title, Raising a Thinking Preteen. So that's for the teenage years, and the teen book have a workbook. So next week, I'm gonna copy some of these pages and post them so you can do little exercises, and we go on and keep on going every Thursday like this. I'm not gonna stop until YouTube go out of business. And I feel like it's always something that could be a benefit to everyone anytime. So if you don't happen to be in the chat, when I'm doing it, that's okay too, because you can always catch the replay and learn something. So anyway, yeah, I'm truly hungry and truly tired.
Well, thank you so much.
This
I
video.
appreciate it.
All right, Christy, I thank you so much for joining me. Welcome back to next week. I hope you come on back here Thursday next week, and we're going to keep on going with these games. And make sure you teach somebody the why game. The rule is say something you like, encourage them to say as many things that they can think of that they like or dislike.
Okay.
Make sure you put that in there, like or dislike, because you got them oppositional people. They just going to be opposite for no reason. The whole world gonna be going, why you gotta be different? Because he different. He is. So just accept that. Like or dislike. And the end of the game is I don't know. If you can't think of any more, I don't know. That's easy. That's how you get out of it. So the shy person don't feel bad because she could only think of one. And the one who doing the 13 million ones don't get so big in the britches because they can say 13. We're all winning if you participate. And that's the object of the game. You just want them to participate.
Okay.
And when they participate in the exercise, they will see it themselves. Wow. Then you have to think of it was a challenge for you to think another thing why you didn't like the news, right?
Right.
After you said your main 3 or 4, you was like, what else can I say? That's what the brain needs. And believe it or not, just like anything else, you got to exercise. You got to exercise the brain just like you do the rest of the body. So I'm glad y'all participate. I really appreciate that. And we shall meet again, hopefully, next week on Thursday, 7 to 9 East Central Standard Time. And I'm going to be on time.
All right.
I got to tie yellow string around my head. Everybody asks me, why you got that string on your head? I got to remember to be on time.
Okay.
All right, y'all.
All right. Good night.
Good night.